A very good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of Vivekananda Education Society's College of Arts, Science and Commerce, I, Dr. Sadhna Singh, convener of Talentia, is honored to have each of you here at this grand event titled Dr. Kiran Bedi, a salute to the resilient woman. As an educational institution, it is our prime duty to teach our students a few lifelong lessons resonating those of our guest of honor for the day, like availing opportunities, financial independence, hard work, self regulations, and fighting against the odds. A woman of principles and a symbol of hard work, none other than Dr. Kiran Bedi. So before we begin this session of the day, let us pray to Devi Saraswati, the Vedic goddess of knowledge and arts, and invoke her blessings.
Om. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupine Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhira Bhavatu Me Sada.
This has truly spread the spiritual vibes this afternoon, creating a state of trance with a positive ambience. Noteworthy to mention here is that this version of Saraswati Vandana that you were listening to has been sung by our very own music teacher, Santosh Moreza. I now call upon our respected principal, Dr. Anita Kaur, to welcome today's guest of honor, Dr. Kiran Bedi, Madam.
Thank you, Sadhna. Good morning and warm welcome to Honorable First Woman IPS Officer, a tennis player, politician, former Governor of Puducherry, and the list is long. She is our today's esteemed guest, Dr. Kiran Bedi. Honorable management members of Vivekananda Education Society, Vice Principal Dr. Shantini Nair, Dr. Sadhna Singh, convener of our cultural event Talentia, enthusiastic members of Student Council, all invitees, and my dear students. Thank you all for joining this wonderful interactive session on behalf of Vivekananda Education Society's College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Chembur, Mumbai. Madam, firstly, I would like to briefly introduce you to our college. Vivekananda Education Society's College of Arts, Science and Commerce is NAAC accredited A-grade college situated in Chembur, Mumbai. A 43-year-old institution with emphasis on value education and character building. It is permanently affiliated to University of Mumbai and runs 29 courses under aided and self-financing section, which includes 17 undergraduate programs, 9 postgraduate programs, and 3 PhD courses. We have received Best College Award from University of Mumbai under Urban Area category, Feast Grant from Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, Star College Grant from Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and recently we are awarded autonomous status by UGC and the University of Mumbai for imparting quality education. All these became possible due to very supporting management members, ever encouraging and dedicated staff members, and hardworking students. Madam, you have inspired millions of students with your rule based administration, strong determination to improve the systems, and commendable willpower to take a stand. This interactive session will definitely enlighten students' thinking and will give them a boost to achieve greater heights with conviction. In the end, I would like to recite a Hindi quote. गलत काम करने के लिए जो सबको सजा देगी, फिर वो कोई मंत्री हो या फरेबी, सबको सही रास्ते पर ले आएगी मैडम किरण बेदी. थैंक यू मैडम.
Thank you, madam, for that warm welcome. कोमल है, कमजोर नहीं तू, शक्ति का नाम ही नारी है, जग को जीवन देने वाली, मौत भी तुझसे हारी है. With these words, I once again extend a warm welcome to our guest of honor, Dr. Kiran Bedi. She is the epitome of women empowerment. She is the first woman to have joined the officer ranks of the Indian Police Service. She is the 24th Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, also served the United Nations as Civilian Police Advisor in peacekeeping operations. She is a PhD from IIT Delhi with a postdoctoral Nehru Fellowship. She is an Asian tennis champion, winner of Gallantry Award and the Magsaysay Award, also known as Asia's Nobel Peace Award. She has a biopic on her life called Yes, Madam Sir, made by an Australian citizen. She founded two foundations, Navjyoti and India Vision Foundation, which have served the underprivileged in rural urban areas and prisons for the last 30 years. She is the author of several books. The latest of these is Fearless Governance. She has released the book Fearless Governance based on ground realities as she experienced different realities in serving as the Lieutenant Governor Puducherry, and it is an eye-opener for public officials. Madam, indeed we are privileged with your kind presence, and we are so very grateful to you for accepting our invitation to be part of this elite event. Thank you, madam. My dear viewers, after that introduction, I'm sure you all are geared up to listen, absorb, and enjoy this interactive session. To continue, I now call upon our student, Darpan Pawar, currently studying in the second year BA and is also a big fan and admirer of you, madam. The stage is all yours, Darpan.
Thank you, Sadhna ma'am, and good afternoon and namaste to Dr. Bedi. I am Darpan. I first of all like to tell you how overwhelmed I am to meet you today. This is a big opportunity for me, specifically because I'm myself a civil services aspirant. I'd also like to thank all the people in charges of this event for considering me worthy enough and giving this opportunity to represent the young minds of our college and to have a chat with you, Dr. Bedi. With your permission, madam, should we begin with the Q&A session?
Please do, okay. Darpan.
Thank you. Ma'am, let us begin with your childhood. There's a very popular phrase that behind the success of every man, there's a strong woman. But in your case, we see behind your success, there's a strong man. Here, I would like to point everyone's attention to Madam's father and his role in shaping you. We would like to listen from you. How was your childhood, and how did your father play a prominent role in what you're today?
First of all, I want to thank your Vivekananda Society. Thank you so much, Vivekananda Education Society. Want to thank your principal, your Madam Principal, Dr. Sadhna Singh, who opened the session, Dr. Anita Kanwar, the principal. Thank you, Darpan, that you gave me this opportunity. Happy to be. So we can't see. So this is a StreamYard. We can't see the faces, right?
Yes.
And are the students listening?
Yes, yes. Our students are
Approximately
listening.
how many students are listening? Have they all enrolled in? Do you have any idea how many of you have joined in?
Ma'am, I'll ask the back end, but I know for sure that many students are listening to you right now.
Okay, I'm glad. I want to ask you, should we be in English or in Hindi? Darpan? Anita has just mentioned he will send the countdown soon. Darpan, I want to ask you, what would be preferred, Hindi or English?
A mix of both languages would work.
Preferably.
Though it's an English medium school, it's an English medium college.
School. But
Yes.
सभी को ज़्यादा comfortable क्या है? मैडम से पूछो.
मैम, हम दोनों इंग्लिश और हिंदी में बात करेंगे ताकि हम ज्यादा ऑडियंस तक पहुंच पाएंगे.
हिंदी तो सभी समझते हैं.
जी जी, मुंबई में हिंदी सब समझते हैं.
हाँ, कोई बिल्कुल टोटली मराठी भी हैं जो कि हिंदी नहीं समझेंगे और वो इंग्लिश ही समझेंगे.
क्योंकि मुंबई बॉलीवुड का शहर है और बहुत सारी हिंदी फिल्में यहाँ प्रोड्यूस होती है, इस कारण हिंदी सबको आता है.
चलो, बहुत अच्छा. आई एम वेरी हैप्पी. दर्पण बच्चे, आप सभी उस स्टेज में ही हैं जिस स्टेज में इसको बचपन भी कहते हैं. आप चाहे सेकेंड ईयर में हो, लेकिन अभी भी आपका बचपन है. क्यों? क्योंकि अभी भी आप अपने पेरेंट्स पर डिपेंडेंट हैं. अभी भी आप अपने घर में ही रहते हैं.
जी.
तो आपका बचपन ही है. जब तक आप अपना घर नहीं बना के काम पे अपने आप लग जाते और आप खुद माँ बाप बन जाते, आप बचपन ही है. क्योंकि आप निर्भर हैं अपने माँ बाप पर, पेरेंट्स पर. और ये जो निर्भरता है, ये जो अभी भी बड़े होते भी आप सीखते ही रहते हैं अपने माँ बाप से. आपने बोला मेरे द मैन बिहाइंड माय करियर, माय ग्रोथ वाज माय फादर. दैट्स अ फैक्ट. बट ऑल्सो माय मदर. दोनों का अपना रोल है. इसीलिए कुदरत ने आपको मम्मी डैडी दिए हैं, क्योंकि माँ अपना रोल प्ले करती, पिता अपना रोल प्ले करते. दोनों जिन्हें जब मिलके एक वाणी में बात करते, एक लक्ष्य पे करते, तो एक बच्चे को 200 गुना मिलता. उसको तंदुरुस्ती मिलती, मानसिक शांति मिलती, राइट. उसको प्रोग्रेसिव पढ़ने का एनवायरनमेंट मिलता है, सीखने का, संस्कार लेने का. यू आर 250. दैट्स व्हाट योर प्रिंसिपल सेड. यू आर 240 चिल्ड्रन. सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी कि मैं कम से कम जो हम मेहनत कर रहे हैं, ज्यादा से ज्यादा बच्चों को मैसेज जाए. तो मैं ये कहूंगी कि कभी मत भूलना, जब तक आप अपना घर नहीं बनाते, और अगर अपने घर में भी आपके पेरेंट्स हैं, तो शायद आपका कहीं ना कहीं बचपन जारी है. क्योंकि पेरेंट्स की जगह कोई नहीं ले सकता, और आपकी श्रद्धा पेरेंट्स की कभी बदल नहीं सकती. क्योंकि पेरेंट्स का कोई जगह, पेरेंट्स एब्सोल्युटली यूनिक रिलेशनशिप है. तो जो मेरे पेरेंट्स का रोल था वो ये था कि मेरी परवरिश ठीक हो, उसको तंदुरुस्ती मिले, मानसिक पॉजिटिविटी मिले, मेरे लक्ष्य हों, मेरे मूल्य ठीक हों, मैं मूल्यवान हूं, और मैं समझदारी से अपना जीवन निर्वाह, और मैं समय की कदर करूं, और मैं एक्टिविटीज में बहुत सारा भाग लूं. मेरे पिताजी ने मुझे हमले टेनिस खूब सिखाई, इसलिए आपके मैडम ने इंट्रोडक्शन में दी, यहाँ तक कि टेनिस चैंपियनशिप, एशियन चैंपियनशिप तक पहुंचा दिया, इंडिया नंबर 1 बना दिया. मैं महाराष्ट्र खूब आती थी खेलने के लिए, मुंबई में सीसीआई क्लब और वहाँ क्लब में मेरे मैचेस होते थे। तो हम लोग बहुत, मैं बॉम्बे अमृतसर से आती थी दूर से ट्रैवल करके और आके टेनिस खेलती थी ना मैचेस। मेरी जो सहेलियां थी वो मुंबई की थी। निरुपमा बसंत थी, अब वो निरुपमा मनकड़ है, वो इंडिया नंबर 1 थी। शी वाज अशोक मनकड़ वाइफ। वो इंडिया नंबर 1 थी। वो महाराष्ट्र में रहती थी, मुंबई में रहती थी। उसका और मेरा हमेशा फाइनल में मैच होता था। वो ज्यादा देर जीतती रही, जब तक वो थोड़ी बूढ़ी नहीं हो गई, तो फिर मैं जीती। सो मेरा मुंबई के साथ बहुत अच्छा रिश्ता है और बड़े शौक से मैं मुंबई आती थी। सो टेनिस जो थी वो मेरे पेरेंट्स से मिली, और शिक्षा के लिए मेरी बड़ी प्रेरणा मुझे मम्मी डैडी मामा अपनी मदर से मिली, क्योंकि मम्मी पढ़ाई की बहुत शौकीन थी। उनकी पढ़ाई जब वो पढ़ रही थी तो उनकी पढ़ाई अधूरी कर दी गई। सो शी वाज हंग्री फॉर एजुकेशन। माय पेरेंट्स फादर वाज वेरी हंग्री फॉर स्पोर्ट्स। तो देखो, ये है संस्कार। जो माँ बाप जिस चीज को पसंद करते हैं वो कोशिश तरीके से समझदारी से अपने बच्चे में डाल देते हैं। तो मुझे पढ़ाई भी मिली, मुझे गेम्स भी मिली। मुझे एक बात मूल्यवान थे, क्योंकि वो पैसे के पीछे नहीं भागते, वो प्यार, कदर, संस्कारों के पीछे भागते थे। जॉइंट फैमिली थी, बहुत बड़ी जॉइंट फैमिली, जिसमें फाइनेंशियल सिक्योरिटी तकरीबन थी, घर भी था, जायदाद भी थी, फैसिलिटीज भी थी, क्लब्स की मेंबरशिप भी थी। सो इट वाज अ वेल प्रोवाइडेड फैमिली दैट वे। बट मेरे फादर वर नॉट रनिंग आफ्टर मनी, दे वर रनिंग आफ्टर ग्रोथ। सो जब मेरा और स्कूल बेस्ट चुन के उन्होंने भेजा, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात होती है कि आपके पेरेंट्स आपको बेस्ट स्कूल भेजते हैं। उसके बाद आप कॉलेज सेलेक्ट करते हैं, लेकिन छोटी उम्र में स्कूल नहीं आप सेलेक्ट करते। मेरे लिए उन्होंने बेस्ट स्कूल, दूर था, बहुत एक्सपेंसिव था, बट वन द बेस्ट स्कूल ऑफ अमृतसर था उस वक्त, कॉल्ड द सेक्रेड हार्ट स्कूल अमृतसर। तो वहां पर भेजा, और मैं अकेली नहीं थी, वी वर 4 सिस्टर्स, नो ब्रदर। और कभी भी उन्होंने सेंस ऑफ इनसिक्योरिटी नहीं दी कि हमारा बड़े होके कौन संभालेगा, लड़कियां घर से चली जाती हैं तो हमारा नाम कौन आगे ले जाएगा। कभी भी इनसिक्योरिटी नहीं उन्होंने करी थी। और हमारे चारों में कंपटीशन रहता था कि मामा डैडी किसके साथ रहेंगे बड़े होके, कौन किसके घर हम लोग कैसे मिलकर रहेंगे। और मैं उस कंपटीशन में जीतती हमेशा कि नहीं, मामा डैडी मेरे साथ, मैं मम्मी डैडी के साथ। सो ये हमारा कंपटीशन था। ये संस्कारों की बात थी। हमारे में फैमिली शेयरिंग बहुत अच्छी थी। हम लोग सब शेयर करते थे, मिल के खाते थे, मिल के पढ़ते थे, मिल के खेलते थे। समय था मेरे पेरेंट्स को हमारे लिए। सो ये था मेरा बचपन, और उसके लिए मैंने भी उनकी बहुत कदर की। मैं भी जान गई थी कि अच्छा घर ऐसा हो, माँ बाप हो, पढ़ाई भी हो, कॉलेज भी अच्छा हो, टीचर्स भी आपको अच्छे मिल जाए, तो आपका बचपन जो है वो बड़ा होते होते उसकी जड़ें स्ट्रांग हो जाती है। इट्स स्ट्रांग फंडामेंटल्स। तो मेरी लाइफ में मेरी फैमिली ने मुझे स्ट्रांग फंडामेंटल्स दिए। कौन से फंडामेंटल्स? अपने खर्चे में रहना है, चीटिंग नहीं करनी, झूठ नहीं बोलना, बेईमानी नहीं करनी, किसी का दिल नहीं दुखाना, कमा के ट्रॉफी लेनी है, खरीद के नहीं ट्रॉफी लेनी, कमा के लेनी है, मेहनत करनी है, और मेहनत से घबराना नहीं है, और शिक्षा ग्रहण करते रहना, और एजुकेशन एज अ कंटिन्यूइंग। सो रीडिंग की हैबिट्स, तब टेलीविजन नहीं थे, सोशल मीडिया नहीं था, यहाँ तक कि ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट टेलीविजन भी मैं जब बड़ी हुई तब जाके, तब तक हमारे पास बीबीसी रेडियो, ऑल इंडिया रेडियो ही न्यूज देता था, वो भी एक ही चैनल। सो सभी कुछ एक ही चैनल पे होता था, न्यूज भी सुनते थे, ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट फिल्म भी देखते थे, चित्रहार भी देखते थे सब मिलके, रामायण भी देखते थे, ऐसे सीरियल भी देखते। तो बचपन बड़ा मिलके बिताया। दिस वाज माय चाइल्डहुड व्हिच वाज फुल ऑफ लव, वैल्यूज, care, sacrifice, hard work, sharing, giving, spirituality, ritual से आता था, पंडित आता था, there was a pandit who used to do prayers, but it was very humanistic, very human, कि सबको, it love for all beings and love for all life and creatures was the education. मेरी दादी हमें गुरुद्वारा दरबार साहब ले जाती थी, मेरी नानी मुझे दुर्गा मंदिर ले जाती थी, मेरा स्कूल जो था वो कैथोलिक स्कूल था। तो मेरे में सारे तरफ से डायरेक्शन से मुझे ये शिक्षा मिली, जिसमें मानवता सीखा मैंने। मानव अच्छे अच्छे ह्यूमन बीइंग कैसे बनते. दैट वाज माय चाइल्डहुड, दर्पण.
Ma'am, surely, and this holistic development which you got in your childhood truly, reflects in your career, and this colorful career that you had, the success that you achieved, and the gratitude which you hold for your parents is evident uh, from your talks. So moving on to next question, जब आप भारत की पहली महिला आईपीएस ऑफिसर बनी, तब मैं कह सकता हूं कि वो जो सर्विसेज थी वो एक ऑल मेंस वर्ल्ड था. तो आपको किस प्रकार रिसीव किया गया सर्विसेज में, और ओवर द इयर्स पुलिस सर्विसेज में क्या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस आए हैं और क्या बदलाव आए हैं?
मेरे समय में मैं डिपार्टमेंट में घुसी थी. डिपार्टमेंट ने मुझे बुलाया था. I entered into the department by qualifying meritoriously. It is not the department which called me that they wanted women. अब department बुलाता है. Now the IPS department or police wants more women. It incentivizes more women. It encourages more women because the society and the community needs more women. And they realize that women have to be integral part of policing. लेकिन 1972 में डिपार्टमेंट ने नहीं मुझे बुलाया, मैंने डिपार्टमेंट को में एंटर किया, क्योंकि मैं चाहती थी कि इस डिपार्टमेंट में मैं काम करूं, क्योंकि मेरा ग्रोथ बहुत ऑर्गेनाइज्ड, प्लान, डिसिप्लिन्ड वे था. आई वाज अ वेरी डिसिप्लिन्ड गर्ल. हर चीज समय से करना, हर चीज. एनसीसी कैडेट बहुत अच्छी थी, तब एनएसएस नहीं आई थी. आई वाज द बेस्ट कैडेट ऑफ माय कॉलेज 4 years running. So extracurricular activities, फिर स्पोर्ट्स. You see, मेरी जीवन में यूनिफॉर्म्स ही जुड़े रहे. स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म, एनसीसी यूनिफॉर्म, स्पोर्ट्स यूनिफॉर्म. Finally came the police uniform. So I actually grew up in a open home which had no uniform, but it had tennis kit, then NCC dress, फिर स्कूल यूनिफॉर्म. So in a way I was a very uniform loving person. मुझे यूनिफॉर्म अच्छा लगता था, मैं बहुत कंफर्टेबल थी अपने यूनिफॉर्म. सो सादगी भी, कपड़ों की भी सादगी रहती थी, और कोई सुंदर दिखने के लिए शादी की कोई चिंता नहीं थी. आई वाज नेवर एवर थिंकिंग ऑफ कि मेरी बड़ी होके मेरी शादी कैसी होगी, कौन आएगा. नो, मेरे दिमाग था पढ़ाई और अपना करियर और अपना आत्मनिर्भरता. फॉर मी टू बी सेल्फ रिलायंट वाज माय गोल, not to be dependent anywhere, self-reliant. So IPS जो मेरी क्वालिफिकेशन, I entered it. So प्रॉब्लम ये, इशू ये थी कि डिपार्टमेंट नहीं प्रिपेयर था, मैं प्रिपेयर थी, क्योंकि मैं ऑलरेडी ऑर्गेनाइज थी. मैं फिजिकली बहुत फिट थी. रेसेस में आई वाज आल्सो द बेस्ट एथलीट ऑफ माय कॉलेज. सो मैं रेसेस भी करती थी, मैं क्योंकि फिटनेस तो करनी थी. सो बेस्ट एथलीट भी थी, बेस्ट एनसीसी कैडेट भी थी, बेस्ट डिबेटर भी थी, बेस्ट ऑलराउंडर भी थी. पढ़ाई में भी मुझे स्कॉलरशिप मिलती थी. मैं पढ़ाई में भी अच्छी थी, खेलने भी अच्छी थी. मुझे स्कॉलरशिप डबल मिलती थी बिकॉज ऑफ स्पोर्ट्स एंड एकेडमिक्स. क्यों? क्योंकि मेरे जीवन में थर्ड चीज कोई वेस्ट नहीं थी. लेकिन मैं आनंद, फ्रेंड्स मेरी बहुत थी, नॉटी भी बहुत थी, खेलती भी बहुत थी. लेकिन जब पढ़ना है तो पढ़ती थी, जब खेलना है तो खेलती थी. सो इसलिए मेरी जो आईपीएस हुई, मैं प्रिपेयर्ड गई थी. इसी इट वाज अ प्रिपरेशन फॉर द यूनिफॉर्म. सो डिपार्टमेंट नहीं प्रिपेयर था. मैंने जैसे आपको बताया, मैंने डिपार्टमेंट को अपने लिए बनाया. मैंने बताया कि यूनिफॉर्म क्या पहनना. वो पूछते थे रूल तो है नहीं, कौन सा यूनिफॉर्म लाएंगे. तो ऐसे को जो आप यूनिफॉर्म है, अब मेरे लिए आप साड़ी थोड़ी बनाएंगे, मैं नहीं साड़ी पहनूंगी, क्योंकि साड़ी पहन के कोई भागेगा क्या? साड़ी पहन के कोई भागता नहीं है, भाग नहीं सकता. So the point is, जो यूनिफॉर्म है, आई एम वेयरिंग द सेम यूनिफॉर्म इन एनसीसी. तो मेरे लिए कोई यूनिफॉर्म, एनसीसी यूनिफॉर्म अलग थोड़ी था लड़कियों के लिए. सो दे आस्क्ड मी व्हाट यूनिफॉर्म वुड यू लाइक टू वेयर. और अगर मैं उस वक्त कहती तो साड़ी दे दो तो साड़ी हो जाता. अगर मैं उस वक्त कहती कि कुछ और सूट दे दो तो सूट हो जाता. इनफैक्ट आई वॉज द ट्रेंड सेटर बिकॉज आई वॉज वेरी फिट, फिजिकली वेरी फिट, वेरी एजाइल. तो मुझे वो यूनिफॉर्म सेटल हो गया, क्योंकि यूनिफॉर्म मैंने एनसीसी में भी वही पहना था, स्लैट्स एंड टी शर्ट, टक्ड इन शर्ट, वही यूनिफॉर्म अभी तक चल रहा है, क्योंकि गलती मेरी कि मैंने वही यूनिफॉर्म, अब मैं, अगर आप जैसे लड़के आदमी लोग भी आउट ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म होते हैं, फिट होते हैं, अनफिट लगते हैं, कई कई विमेन भी आफ्टर मैटर्निटी उनको प्रॉब्लम्स आ जाती हैं, तो then they need, the department has not found a second solution yet. So what happens to a woman after maternity, after she becomes a mother, what uniform she must wear? But the question here is, मैंने आईपीएस को जब आई तो डिपार्टमेंट में घुसी, डिपार्टमेंट ने मुझे नहीं घुसाया, और कोशिश कर ली उन्होंने कि ये कोई और सर्विस ले ले, बुला के वही पूछा गया, और मैंने कहा नहीं, मैंने ये जो आईपीएस लिए ये मन से लिए, आत्मा से लिए, क्योंकि मुझे पुलिसिंग बहुत अच्छी लगती थी, डिसिप्लिन भी था, न्याय भी था, अथॉरिटी भी थी, कैपेबिलिटी भी थी, साधन भी थे, टीम वर्क भी था, सब मुझे अच्छा लगता।
But I must say, Dr. Bedi, that you had set the right foundation, and because you entered the services, जैसे आपने बोला आप घुसी सर्विसेज में, इसकी वजह से आज बहुत सारी लड़कियां आपसे प्रेरणा लेकर पुलिस बोलो, या फिर अभी रिसेंटली हमने जो पढ़ा कि आर्मी में भी ज्वाइन होने के लिए लड़कियों का जो डिमांड बढ़ रहा है, आई मस्ट से आपका कहीं ना कहीं वहां पे कंट्रीब्यूशन जरूर है। Moving on to next question, I must confess, and as my professor earlier said in your introduction, that you are really the epitome of women empowerment. But we want to listen or hear from you. How do you perceive women empowerment yourself, and what do you think that our policymakers should implement in policies so that this world or this nation becomes a better place for our women?
Why don't we use the word men empowerment? We don't use the word men empowerment. Do we use the word boy empowerment? No. Why? Because no boy is held back कि तुमने इधर नहीं जाना, खेलना नहीं. You see, there are no restrictions on the boy of that physical restraints, security की हो, या बहादुर लड़का संभाल सकता अपने आप को, शाम को आ सकता है अपने आप, उसके पास सेंस ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस है, ऑफ कोर्स कंट्रोल है, there are reasonable restrictions which is necessary, but he is not protected, whereas the girl is protected. क्योंकि जो चीज को प्रोटेक्टेड हो जाए तो फिर उसको जब प्रोटेक्टेड रहेगा तो उसको आजादी चाहिए ना, उसको ताकत चाहिए ना उड़ने की। अगर एक पंछी ऑलरेडी उड़ रहा है तो उसको सिखाओगे थोड़ी उड़ना, लेकिन अगर आप कुछ देर पंछी को बांध के रखोगे तो फिर एम्पावर करोगे ना कि अब सीखो उड़ना, है ना। नाउ यू आर टीचिंग द बर्ड टू फ्लाई because you've kept the bird controlled, and even though the bird had feathers, but you never told the bird that you had feathers. उसको बताया नहीं तुम्हारे पास feathers, लेकिन कुछ देर के बाद उसको बोलते तेरे feathers भी हैं, तो अब तुम्हें एनर्जी देते हैं, ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, पढ़ाई देते हैं, स्किल ट्रेनिंग देते हैं, ताकि तू एम्पावर हो जाए। Because we can't, for some time of the growth, the girl is very controlled. She is literally under security control. She is protected. Rightly or wrongly, she is protected. Because there is a reasonable restriction required for the girl to be protected because she is biologically vulnerable. और ऐसे बहुत सारे गलत लोग होते हैं जो कि नुकसान भी पहुंचाते हैं, तो उस वक्त प्रोटेक्शन है, लेकिन प्रोटेक्शन शुड नॉट बिकम सफोकेशन। ऐसे नहीं प्रोटेक्ट करो जिसमें कि वो ग्रोथ ही नहीं कर सके। मैं भी लड़की थी, मेरे भी प्रोटेक्शन थी, हमारा रूल था अंधेरे होने से पहले घर आना, राइट बेटे। रात को मेरी मम्मी कहती थी सड़क की लाइट जगने से पहले घर आना, और हम लोग खूब साइकिलिंग करते थे, खेलते थे, लड़ते थे, झगड़ते थे, लेकिन ये रूल था कि अंधेरा होने से पहले घर आ जाना, राइट। क्योंकि ये कुछ लिए थी, ये नहीं कि मुझे डिसएम्पावर कर रहे थे, मुझे सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी दे रहे थे. They were training me, empowering me, and also making me a responsible girl. That I need to, not that they need to protect me, parents need to protect me. As a girl, need to become conscious. I need to protect myself against any evil eye. So, what was happening? I now recognize that there is an evil eye. I have to fight it. I don't have to avoid it. I will fight it. So, हम लोग सड़क पे होते थे. हमें दिन में अगर कोई लड़का छेड़ता था तो हम भी उसको ठोकते थे. रोकर घर नहीं आते थे. We never used to cry. Mama, we've been teased. No. Why? Because I was trained to deal with adversity and challenges. This is empowerment. For me, this is empowerment. Empowerment means make the child grow with equal opportunities, but with watch, with care, with self-confidence, with courage, and also in the mind that you are to become self-reliant. You have to earn for yourself. You have to live your own quality of life as you want to lead. This to me is women empowerment. This to me is girl empowerment. It's a girl empowerment which leads to women empowerment. Remember that. Women empowerment cannot be without the girl empowerment. Otherwise, it's too late. So if there's a continuity, just as responsible boy is a part of growth, responsible man, before a man becomes responsible, it has to be a responsible boy. Similarly, empowered woman has to be an empowered girl. So an empowered girl and a responsible boy make a great society. Empowered woman will become financially self-reliant. Responsible boy and a responsible man will become credible and will become very a strength to the society and to his own family and his parents. Because he's the one who is likely to stay back with his parents, and the girl is likely to start her own home elsewhere if she gets married and goes elsewhere. So the likelihood of the man becoming more responsible towards his own family is higher because of the cultural way of living in India. But today that is also going. So what I'm saying, जब बच्चा लड़का responsibly grow करता है, becomes a responsible man. When empowered girl becomes girl, she becomes an empowered woman. So that's why you're asking me women empowerment, because you're starting it late. And that late empowerment is costing Indian society hugely, because educated women still want to go back home, go back and manage home, and or the family comes in the way of her working, or she doesn't want to work anymore because she's not oriented towards being strongly self-reliant. She's in a confusion sometimes. But for me, a woman empowered is one who is self-dependent, financially, mentally, psychologically, environmentally. She may live in a home, she may live with her parents, she may live in, but she's self-reliant. So for me, an empowered woman is one who is self-reliant, self-dependent, and rather is in a position to empower others.
Now, I totally agree with you that primary socialization that happens in familial settings should be conducive to growth. I totally agree. And what you said, that girls should be empowered first so that they become empowered women. This was eye-opening. Now, moving to other question. Before that, I'd like to congratulate you for your recent book. I have a copy which I've got a
Oh,
few days
nice.
back. Yes. And this book reminds me also of what our Prime Minister said. He said our nation requires less government and more governance. And what also attracts me is the adjective you use. So you've used fearless governance. So my question to you is, what do you think are the hindrances to good governance, and why do you think people in position of policy making or governance have to be fearless? That is my question.
See, you are fearless only when you're willing to be visible. You are afraid and you hide, but you're courageous and you are upfront. You see, right? Fearless governance begins with the visibility, the fearlessness to be visible and feel, get to the see the people in the eye, or the junior in your office or in public. First requirement of fearless governance is your visibility. You are in public service. Therefore, you should be fearless to be one amongst the public. You should be fearless to face the public. If you are a VIP under threat, then you obviously you will be a protected person. But that doesn't mean you don't connect with the people. That doesn't mean you meet the people, or you don't give opportunities for people to meet you, because you are for them. They are not for you. You are for them, right? Whether it's an elected person or whether you are a selected person from the UPSC, you are wanting to be a UPSC candidate. You are qualifying for the UPSC to serve the people. After your selection, if you sit back in your office and shut your doors and have no time to meet the people, and you don't go and meet the people at all, and you say appointment leke aana, that's when you are becoming afraid. Why? You are afraid. You are running away from your duty. Why are you afraid? Because you are afraid they might demand something so much you can't give, or they might question your decision you have taken, which was not correct, or they might demand something which you are not capable of or you don't know. You're afraid. But if you are courageous, you will not be afraid. You will be visible, accessible, available to listen to them, to talk to. You will hold town halls. This book has a town hall chapter. As an
Yes.
LG, I used to hold town halls. I was not afraid of any odd. They could not say, ma'am, you have been doing wrong transfers. See, you've done this promotion. Madam, you've done this posting. You must have done this on a recommendation. No, I could answer anything. So the first requirement of a fearless governance is fearlessness in action, in thought, in word, in deed. Indeed, honesty. That means it takes you to a level of honesty. If you're honest, you're courageous. But if you're dishonest, you're afraid. So courage and integrity is the sides of the same coin. So when you are selected for the UPSC, that means, oh, madam, but so and so might tell me to do something wrong and transfer me. You're afraid. Madam, I will be not looked up. I will lose support of my senior. You're afraid. But if you are doing the right thing and you have the maturity to present your matter correctly, properly, I think it works better. You lost the connection. Yes, we are back.
There was some technical glitch, but I was able to listen to you throughout.
Oh, good. Because I could see the eye contact, so I did not know who
Yes.
to talk to. I didn't want to talk to
I'm
a
really sorry for
blank
that.
screen.
But
No
I,
problem.
I absolutely agree that democracy, which started in this nation in 1940s, which is unfortunately turned aristocratic, should should now become people's democracy again. And I think to understand what I just said in a more brief manner, people should read this book. I highly recommend. This is a very interesting read because this book is full of images. The book is so colorful, and the letter which you had got from the president uh, uh, when you were appointed the lieutenant governor. This is so inspiring.
Yeah, the appointment letter.
The very first pages. These are so
Yeah.
inspiring for any person who is aspiring not to join the civil services or politics, but to serve the nation. Because service
I'm so
is
happy
the
that you
most
found it so
important thing.
inspiring. I'm so happy,
Yes.
Darpan, because this has been written with the eye on the future leaders. And you are the future leaders. It is to groom future leaders. I've written this so that you all know what are you moving for. What is the challenges which are likely to come? You will have vested interests because you are born now. There's 75 years of earlier habits. So you are countering 75 years of culture, work culture. So 75 years of work culture is a habit by form. If you are changing the direction, you will automatically have opposition. How will you deal with that opposition? Is this book.
Yes, and I strongly agree. I strongly agree. I'll soon finish this book and keep this as a guide throughout my career.
My God. I'm so happy
Ma'am,
I've written. This is
yes,
exactly the purpose I wrote for. Yeah.
if time is not the constraint right now, can I ask you two more questions and then we
Okay.
shall wind up?
Yeah, sure.
So, right now, we see a wave of ideology ruling the minds of people of this nation. Don't you think it's high time that we drop our ideologies and work with what's pragmatic or
I do
pragmatic
not
solutions?
know. You have to define. There is a spiritual ideology. There's a political ideology. There's an economic ideology. There's a thought ideology. Ideologies are many.
More or less, we see today there are religious ideologies are defining votes or how policies are framed. So, do you think that it's high time, as a democracy, where in our preamble it's enshrined that we are equal and this nation is for everyone and people are the ones who should govern it? Don't you think we should drop our ideologies and move to true democracy?
You cannot force the drop. You cannot force the drop. Only prosperity, education and prosperity and maturing of democracy will drop. Not you cannot force it. You cannot compel it. Only time will alter it. So you have to be patient with it. But the way we educate ourselves in our own colleges and universities, that means the teachers can play a very important role in creating more human minds, humanity minds. And the way they look at books, the way they only maturity, each mind is a computer by itself. And it is software fed every day by our own selves. So we do import softwares, but we also create our own softwares. And sometimes wrong viruses also enter. They do. So your individual mind management is finally the test of any democracy. It's in the end, you may be a majority voter, but it's one vote at a time, which counts. So I would think that all these ideologies of caste, color, creed, region, language, faith, whatever, gender, they all will take its own time to grow up. We are the one of the youngest democracies. America is the one of the oldest, and see, even they are suffering today from ideologies of that kind: the white and the black, the south and the north, the have and the have-nots. So I think it's a part of socio environment, and only time heals it. But a lot also depends on who is advocating them. And the advocate is the teacher, the spiritual master, the political leader. So there can be many role thinkers, writers, the media, many influencers. In the end, it's your own mind. How you take, how do you create your own perceptions and belief systems?
I agree, yes. Ma'am, as you're aware, we are celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years of independence. But unfortunately, we still see that independence has not come to all. I'm speaking about the poor, the marginalized, the hungry. How do you think, forget policy implementers, how do you think we as young adults can come as aid to help the marginalized and the vulnerable to break through their shackles?
Whatever we are today is a growth reason of two factors. One is the way we were politically led, And secondly, we as a population performed. Third, we overgrew in population, by which whatever we have is not enough for all. So as a community, I think we were fairly irresponsible because we kept multiplying. And we are the most populous country in the world along with China. Now that kind of overpopulation is not government driven, it is individual driven. Where till certain years we kept having more children to have boys. That was people's. It's not politically driven. It was individual, family driven. Had we been half the population, there was enough for everybody. Because the kind of agricultural growth we have today, the industrial growth we have today, we would have had enough. But we don't. And we will not be enough till 2040. And can you force any family to say, hold on? No. The moment you do, it will bounce back. Whereas being small families is a very important national responsibility, even now. But it's not being exercised. And no leader can dare say we do. Therefore, it's tapering down only by 2040, 2045, where replacement and the new will balance out. So that's people. Secondly, in the political field, I think we've had all shades of gray, black and white of political leadership. All shades. We've had pure white, like Shastriji. We've had Sardar Patel's. We've had pure white, spotless white. And we also had other shades. And any shade of gray in political leadership is very expensive on the country. Why? Because then the policy is tainted. It is not honest. It's not authentic. It has hidden agendas. And it caters to interests, not holistically. So I think, and character building has not happened through our education. Our education has also not made Vivekanandas. Our education, had we created Vivekanandas as education, then these shades would not have happened. And these excessive population would not have happened. But our education did not create Vivekanandas. Our education doesn't even tell us what is our rich civilization. The history of Indian knowledge is not known. The moment you know, you start becoming, yeah, I'm the oldest civilization, I'm the richest civilization, and that richest civilization put everybody at par. It didn't even differentiate between men and women then. But we, on our own, did not. So our education system and our teachers of the past did not work extra to make us proud Indians. So we I think, went wrong in three places. We as people, we must take responsibility. And the leaders who went up, whether they were either thrust on us or we voted them in. The fact is, we did. We voted them in. They were thrust on us. We had to live with them. There was no option. And third, I think, was the teaching community. The teaching community did not create characters. They were only passing an examination somehow or the other. And out of this came the family unit. Every family looked after its own selfish interest. How many boys it wants, which engineer and doctor he becomes, hook or crook. I want a car and I want a house. Every public servant started to look at himself, because from that family is coming the public servant. Every UPSC candidate is coming from one family. What is the family producing? Every school is producing one UPSC candidate. What kind of school is he producing? So, shades of grey on one side and people on the other side. I think we both had our own shades inside. There were families which produced stalwarts, engineers, scientists, researchers, wise men, authors. It did. But they were not in larger number. We didn't have a character called the national character. So we've had men and women of character. That's why we look up to them. But everybody is not a Japanese here. Japan has one national character. Japan is one national character. What is our character? Our character is geographically divided, language divided, religion divided, faith divided, gender divided. We've not got united as a character. So we did not create Vivekanandas. And government doesn't create Vivekanandas. Families create Vivekanandas. Parents create Vivekanandas. Teachers create Vivekanandas. Spiritual leaders create Vivekanandas. So even in future, if we have shades of gray, black, and blue, etc., yet the onus goes back to every family. Family is the key unit of nation building. Does the family take responsibility? Does the family understand its own responsibility? That what kind of engineer is he sending? What kind of doctor is he sending? What kind of public servant is he sending? What kind of business person is he sending? What kind of woman is he sending? Does the family take responsibility? I don't think so at the moment. Still, that they feel I am a contributor to the nation. My son and daughter will become a nation builder. Unless they do that, we will not have the national character which will make India prosperous. So this is my reading of it.
I must say this was an eye opener, and all the students and teachers who are listening, and we are from Vivekananda Education Society's college, we will try our best to implement what ma'am just said and become responsible, because taking responsibility for this nation on individual level is really important. I totally agree with you, madam. Uh, as we conclude our Q&A session, I'd like to ask you to give a message to all the young college students who are listening to you right now.
Be the Vivekananda. Be the Vivekananda. You see, it's a monk in life. What is a monk's life? It's a value-based, spiritual, character-based life. You may not wear the monk robes, but you can have the character. Why not be the Vivekanandas of India? Why only one? Read Vivekananda. Think like him. You may be monks in civil clothes, but you can be monk in life. Why not? India needs healthy footballers, monks, who are closer to the football than anywhere else. That's Vivekananda's message. Why not be? We have role models. Vivekananda is our model. I think we don't need to go beyond. We don't need to go to the West to read. We don't need to go to Harvard to understand what is happiness. We don't need to. If we do, and he was one of the most educated, erudite speaker, author, writer, thinker, totally homegrown. He was Indian grown. So I would think hard work, take up any love for labor, value the head, the heart, and the hands. Use your hands to skill anything. To look what's happening. Children of farmers don't want agriculture. Why? Because they don't want to work hard. They don't want to dirty their hands, but they want to be a peon or they want to be a clerk. And they have their own land, but they don't want to run the tractor because they don't see a future or they don't love the land. No love has got created for them when they were children. They never went with the father or the mother, or the girl went to the father to sow the seeds. Why not? Sow the seeds. You can become another thing also, become an IS, IPS, but you also continue to love what your father did or mother did. Why not? Why not be proud of whatever they did? Who will teach them? Parents. So parenting is the critical aspect of India. What kind of parents? But parents come from society again. Everybody is not born a parent. They come from society. What kind of needs, insecurities, ideas have they come to become mothers and fathers? I think these are the challenges India has. So my only message is, wherever you are, whoever you are, be the Vivekananda, the monk in life. Monk means simplicity, responsibility, integrity, honesty, trustworthy, courageous, principled. These are the things. If we are, I think India will be another. You have to all now take responsibility. What kind of India you need to turn of the century? Because you are all your generation will see the turn of the century. What kind of India do you want to see 25 years from now? And the Prime Minister has already started to make us dream of 25 years. He's already started talk about, and he's now the budget of yesterday has talked about investments which will reap rewards in the coming 25 years. So you are going to be the earners of the reward receivers. So why not be part of that thing and focus on energy, health, hard work, education, skills, employment generation, not employment seeking, employment generation, working together as friends to farm, start up, to do the startups. I think take the destiny in your hands next 25 years if you want a different India, and you'll be better than anybody in the world.
I must say, ma'am, this entire session has shaked us all from inside. Whatever insights you gave were so inspiring and has brought a wave of thought in all our minds. Thank you so much for this beautiful session. I would now call upon our Vice Principal to give or propose vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Darpan.
Madam, I really run out of the words to express my amazement and awe of this extremely enlightening and inspiring session. Cannot thank you as well as Darpan enough for taking us through this journey that is highly commendable. मैडम, आज आपने जिस तरह हमें आपके बचपन, शौर्य और साहस की गाथाओं से अवगत कराया है और महिला सशक्तिकरण दैट इज वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट और शासन दैट इज गवर्नेंस को हमारे समक्ष रखा है, especially the example of setting the trend of police uniform, especially for women to get fit into male attire. मुझे उम्मीद है कि हमारे सारे दर्शक, खास तौर पर हमारे सारे विद्यार्थीगण, इनके लिए ये बहुत ही प्रेरणादायक है और हम सभी आपके आभारी हैं और उम्मीद करते हैं कि ये प्रेरणा एंड प्रोत्साहन हमें भविष्य में आपकी तरफ से हमेशा मिलती रहे. The words falling short to thank you here. However, I will reserve the honor of the official vote of thanks to be delivered by our Vice Principal, Dr. Shantini Nair, Madam. Please do the honors, Madam.
Namaste, Madam. A very good afternoon to one and all. I, Dr. Shantini Nair, have great pleasure in proposing this vote of thanks to all those who have contributed in making today's program entitled Dr. Kiran Bedi, A Salute to the Resilient Woman, a very, very empowering experience. At the outset, I express my heartfelt gratitude to Lord Almighty for giving us all the good health and spirit to execute our responsibilities with the same passion and vigor in spite of the challenges thrown by the pandemic, and thus we could successfully conduct this program. Indeed, then, it is befitting to attribute the entire success of this program to our very esteemed guest, Honorable Dr. Kiran Bedi, who is aptly called as the Iron Lady of India and is the very epitome of discipline and strength. Madam Bedi, let me pay my respects to you and thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time off from your extremely busy schedule and agreeing to inspire all of us at VESASC in your indomitable style and passion. My next thanks is due to all the trustees of VES management who have been ever supportive and encouraged us always in holding such programs with their guidance. I do not think this event would have ever been possible without the strong leadership of our respected principal, Dr. Anita Kanwar, and of course, the entire team members of the Talentia Committee at VESASC, both the student council members and the faculty and admin staff at VESASC. I acknowledge the untiring efforts of our dynamic convener, Dr. Sadhna Singh, as well as our host for the Q&A session, Mr. Darpan Pawar, who has handled this session so maturely and in such a dignified manner. My gratitude goes to Santosh More sir, our music sir, for initiating this program with the soulful rendering of Saraswati Vandana. Thanks to our technical staff, Mr. Shashank Joshi, for his excellent hosting of this session. And my special thanks are due to the PA of Madam Kiran Bedi, Ms. Pooja Lal, and her IT assistant, Mr. Sumit Shukla, who have been tirelessly working in the technical coordination for the smooth conduct of this unique event. We are sure that this inspiring talk by Dr. Kiran Bedi has served its purpose. I would like to end this vote of thanks with a few lines that I would like to quote from the Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore's poem, which says, "Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, into that heaven of freedom, my Lord, may my country awake." So, once again, thanks to one and all, and each of you, dear participants, who have been waiting for long for the session to happen and have attended this invaluable, enriching session. Thank you once again, Madam Bedi.
Any request for PDF of the book, online book? My publisher
Certainly.
would be very happy to see that your students get it. Please
Madam,
connect with me.
this
I will
is
be very
Neki or
happy.
Pooch Pooch, madam. This is Neki or Pooch Pooch. We would be very, very happy and we'll certainly take it ahead, ma'am.
Please
To
send me an
ensure.
email. I will
Definitely.
send you a soft copy of the book. You can share it widely amongst the students.
Certainly, ma'am. We guarantee you that. We want such inspiration to go across to all our students and staff.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very
Thank
impressed.
you, madam. Thank you. Thank you all for
Thank
your
you, madam.
cooperation. We are not done yet. There are more surprises awaiting you all on the day of Talentia. So stay tuned. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Good day, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good day to
Good
all
day.
of
Good
you.
day. Good day.
Thank you.